Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to today's evening session of Being Heartful Every Day, a joyful adventure. We are in week 44, 306th day, and this week we are immersing ourselves in the quality of prayerfulness. Prayerfulness is not just about the act of prayer, it is a state of being, a deep and abiding connection with the divine within us. It is about holding an inner remembrance, a silent attunement that continues throughout the day, guiding our actions, thoughts, and interactions. And before we begin today's session, a humble request to all sisters and brothers. Let us take a moment to reflect on how we can share the gift of heartfulness with others. Each day, let's think of one or two friends, family members, or colleagues who have yet not started this practice. And in our hearts, sincerely pray that they find their way to it. A simple yet meaningful step we can take is to share the master classes and being heartful everyday sessions with them. By forwarding these links to at least one or two people each day, we become instruments in spreading the wisdom and practice of heartfulness. This is one of the many ways we can contribute to the Master's vision of bringing heartfulness into every home across the world. Let's take this small step together with love and with sincerity. Now let's begin our session. We shall now continue our reading from the article A User's Guide to Living Part 3. Yesterday we were talking about the prayerfulness, and today we are going to talk about how to offer the prayer. How to pray. In the 1940s, a particular prayer was revealed to Babuji from above, and it goes like this: O Master, thou art the real goal of human life. We are yet but slaves of wishes, putting bar to our advancement. Thou art the only God and power to bring us up to that stage. This prayer has four parts. The first part makes it clear whom we are addressing, the Supreme Master. This has a very deep meaning, which is important to understand. In all spiritual traditions, the source is said to be pure nothingness. It is complete in itself. It is the beginning and the end all in one. It is beyond creation, beyond consciousness, and beyond the Creator. It cannot be touched by anything. How can it hear our prayer and respond? Therefore, there has to be something that is in osmosis with the source, and that is the master. Whether you experience it as the inner master at the core of your being or the living master, the guide, it is the master who responds to our prayer. When it is a deep cry from the core of our being, it is the master who is the connecting link. This concept is difficult to understand and accept at the beginning of the practice, but becomes clear through experience as we progress. The second part clearly states the goal of our existence. The master is the purpose of human life. This implies that we are not isolated individuals who are praying for our own individual evolution or personal salvation. We are praying for the highest state available to all human beings. We are praying for all human beings to become one with that stage. It is an all inclusive prayer. The third part is a statement of our current collective human situation. Our wishes and desires drag us down and put obstacles on our path. They impede our progress. It is a humble and honest acceptance of our situation. It is an enlightened perspective. We are not blind or in denial of our situation. It helps us to yield, to be supplicant. Our wishes and desires take our attention and focus away from our purpose, to become one with the absolute, our highest state of being. The final line of the prayer is a humble acknowledgement that the prayer is the divine power who can help us reach that goal. We cannot reach there only by the effort of our lower self because our ego fails us. We depend on this higher self to create the differential with our lower self. This also implies that we address our prayer only to the Supreme Absolute to take us to the final destination. The ideal time for this prayer is both before the morning meditation and at bedtime. The way to practice it is to say it silently a couple of times and then try to get lost in the words, to go beyond the words to the feeling, the vibrations behind the words. Let them resonate in your heart. We don't chant or use it as a mantra. The meaning of the prayer reveals itself over time and is much more than the simple summary given above. That is just a starting point for basic understanding. And you are welcome to ignore that and discover the meaning for yourself through experience. You only need to accept what delights your heart. Recently, I witnessed half a dozen heads of reputed spiritual organization in their special attires, reciting shlokas in Sanskrit, praying for unity and universal peace at the end of a meeting. But I had observed them arguing and trying to be more accurate in their articulation of the ancient scriptures. It made me wonder at their sattvic nature, even while those even while reciting those wonderful shlokas, one can witness the arrogance of knowledge and position. How can grace descend in fully packed hearts? Where do we begin? Our relationship with our higher self is an integral and vital part of human life, and hence the heartfulness practices. Through simple prayer offered with a heart filled with reverence, we connect with the source of our existence and invite the attention of the Supreme. It takes practice, however, to reach that prayerful, heartful state where prayer becomes automatic. Having said that, I want to draw your attention to the following quote from Babuji that brilliantly summarizes the philosophy and practice of prayer. When the world emerged into the present form, the central point was already rooted deep in all the beings. This being a part of the Supreme, it turns our attention towards the source. In prayer, we try to reach up to that point. This is, however, possible only when we create a similar state within. This requires practice. It can be attained by resigning ourselves to the divine will, which is absolutely simple and tranquil. Apparently, it seems to be very difficult, though in fact it is not so. It is not difficult for those who aspire for it. When a person creates in themselves a strong craving for the absolute, they are indeed in a state of prayer, and it is for everyone to strive for it. Whenever a person enters into that state, even for a moment, their prayer is granted, but it requires continued practice to accomplish it. We will pause the article reading for today and let's get ready for the 9 p.m. universal prayer. Gently close your eyes and take your attention towards your heart. We will now start with the universal prayer. All sisters and brothers are filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है. Let us offer this universal prayer together. Let us continue to hold this sacred prayer in our hearts, letting it ripple out into the world. As we prepare to close the day, let us take a moment for self reflection. Let us offer our bedtime prayer, sincerely seeking forgiveness for any missteps, reflecting on our actions with the humility and resolving to do better tomorrow. This nighttime practice of introspection clears the heart and allows us to rest with peace and surrender. May we all experience a deep, restful sleep and wake up feeling refreshed, ready for our morning meditation at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you all for joining this evening session. See you all tomorrow at 6 a.m.